This Michelangelo Pieta is fascinating for many reasons. First, it was done as the last sculpture work by Michelangelo, and it was done for his own tomb, without commission, of course, because it was for himself. In fact, the face of the man at the top, which I think is St. John, is supposed to be that of Michelangelo himself. His close friend had died. He was depressed at old age. The stone that he made this from was a very difficult stone. Hard, grainy. It even sparked when you hit it wrong, so it was very hard to work, and he hated it. Mary Magdalene to the right, Mary the mother to the right, Mary Magdalene with her pretty face to the left. I wonder for a subject if Michelangelo had used some woman he loved. I think that is idealism on my part, because Michelangelo was very much the moody, reclusive person who made the moodiness of Donatello an art form. The shape of this sculpture is triangular, but within that triangle, a circle formed by Jesus' right hand, Mary Magdalene's right arm, and then going up the left arm of Mary and across the top of Jesus' head. From the side, it's noted that there is great interaction between the characters. Notice that notice that the Virgin Mary is very vague, not defined, and not polished. It's only Jesus that's polished. Apparently the trauma over the stone and his old age, etc., was so great that Michelangelo actually attacked his own sculpture, thereby the cracks that you see in Jesus' left arm. A pupil later restored this portion. This room contains the statues by Donatelli and Andrea and Nino Pisano. Pisano did the first set of doors for the baptistry. I think it was Nino, but it may have been Andrea. Also in this room, we'll focus on Zucconi, which is that second of the bright statues to the right in a moment. But these are Luca Cantoria, and they were placed above the entrances to the church, and they were choir altars, if you will, or pulpits. This one designed by Donatello. This one was designed by Andrea della Robbia, a 30-year-old sculptor selected by Brunelleschi as some of the finishing touches on the interior of the cathedral before it was publicly opened up as somewhat of a finished cathedral. This Luca Cantoria is by Luca della Robbia, and is a choir box that was located next to the organs. It's a celebration of two things. One, the near completion and the opening celebration to be of the entire Duomo, and of the 150th Psalm, celebration music to God, music performed by children and toddlers. And man, to hear me talking like this is a mind blower. Handle young people dance, and sing to the sound of that trumpeter. Adults put down their babies to play on the ground while they play zithers or auto harps and guitars. They dance and sing to the sound of tambourines. Panel 7 children do a dance around the roses, or posies, whatever, in the round. And what makes it so spectacular is that it's in the round, even though it's a very thin relief. You very much get the sense of the three-dimension circle. Beneath this El Cantori are reproductions, but not identical reproductions of those panels, a little bit larger and somewhat different. For what purpose, I don't know. Now on the opposite wall is the El Cantori of Donatello. And the panels here are described as almost bacchanal in comparison to Della Robbia's El Cantori. To pan across those so you can just get a sense of the revelry. And notice, if you can, that the sculptures are not terribly detailed. There's a certain fuzziness to them. But more importantly, notice, and I'll get in closer, the sparkly inlays of various ceramic pieces that Donatello put in here, as well as on each of the columns and in the background, and we can get it right now, that shimmering color and reflection off of those slightly offset angles, if you will, of tiles. The reason for that was that Donatello's El Cantori would be in a dark or a shadowy part of the church. So rather than waste effort on detailed sculptures of figures that could not be seen, he put in the sparkly tiles to attract attention and left the vague shapes and forms of movement to illustrate the bacchanal of celebration.